4.0 is a ginormous middle finger to the original, but for a rebuild, I guess it was okay. Like 3.0, I still have a million questions. Some remaining, like, what the fuck is a blue blood? Why is Asuka one of them? Why is Asuka a clone? And why the fuck is Asuka with... Okay, so maybe I'm getting ahead of myself. So we're dropped into one of the two action scenes in the movie where Wunder and co, Misato, Mari, and apparently pink-haired girl is important now too, but we'll get back to her. And they end up fighting Eva clones, and they've got like these visual cues of the spears used at the end of 3.0. So it's like, okay, we're sometime after the end of 3.0. Except no, we continue with Rei, Shinji, and Asuka walking. So it's like, okay, I'm already confused. Are the spears not important? Is this not the same time? And what Wunder and Mari were fighting for was to show us this new purifying thing, which clears the red everything and makes it livable, which is important because we're about to spend the next hour in a living paradise hell. So remember in 3.0 when Shinji puts on a school uniform and it's got the name of his old classmate? And when Carl-kun was literally like, yeah, so you killed everyone. And Toji's fucking little sister is pissed. Don't you think all of that kind of insinuates that they're dead? You think? Well, no, fuck you. They're alive and well. Toji's a doctor and married to the class rep with a kid, and Kensei is also all grown up, but we'll get back to him later. And even though this whole 1 hour living paradise thing was pretty long, it was also pretty alright. It gave us some tantalizing details like Rei not wanting to be called Rei anymore, making us think like, no way, is this fucking Rei going to be her own fucking character with a different fucking name? Awesome.
It is not awesome.
Because Shinji is all like, oh, I can't think of any name besides Rei, and then she turns into orange juice after her black plug suit returns to its original white, which was my first indication of what this movie might really be about. But we'll get there at the end. Also, the entire time Asuka is just there and clothless the majority of the time, which just felt unnecessary. Like, it was good in the original when she was just lying in bed, or the bathroom scenes were quite well done and humorous, but this was just too much. Guess I'll also bring up the fact that literally everyone's in a plug suit, and ass and crotch shots are abundant. So fuck it. It continues. They board the Wonder and then they go to space with Shinji without the choker. And then Mari and Shinji, for like the first time ever, aside from when she drops down from the sky, actually meet and introduce themselves. I couldn't believe it. They had never met through all of 3.0. The fuck? Really? They've never met? Then they just leave space to go to the second impact, and there, Fuyutsuki is piloting a ship, or ships, for the sole purpose of having a cool ship battle action scene with the Wunder.
It was not cool.
Also, everyone now is wearing a fucking white plug suit? Like, literally, why? You just want to bitch slap me with all of the fact that Rei's dead and all, but come on. By the way, this is also the second action scene in the entire movie, and it's also kind of the last. They battle a swarm of Evas, that is Asuka and Mari, do, and then Asuka drops down to the famed Unit 13, the double plug from 3.0. And then, oh my god, to defeat Unit 13, Asuka takes this thing out of her eye patch eye, which is the same thing that purified all of the red shit, and she becomes a blue blood. Her limiters and shit are removed, and then fucking real Asuka comes out to Asuka because apparently she's a clone now. I I don't think that's a thing. I don't think that's a thing. But of course, Ano hates Asuka, so Asuka loses and fucking dies. Then Ray's also there. Fuck, what happens first? I don't know. At some point, giant Ray comes out and starts turning everything into orange juice, which would be a fantastic homage to the, original fucking series. But the fucking face on this new giant Ray, that shit was way too much detail. It was a real fucking face, man. Uncanny as shit. Disgusting to look at. Probably on purpose, again, because, something good in the original had to be shit on here. Then Gendo's just there, so Misato and Ritsuko confront him. Don't know how they got there. And Gendo is like a god now that can't die. So then Shinji confronts him, and we're ready for our final conflict. But first, pink-haired girl, told you we'd get back to her. She has got some beef. Apparently, didn't even hear about this in 3.0, but the near third impact that did not kill Toji's little sister, Kensuke, School Wep, a main character, or anyone in Tokyo 3, apparently did kill the family of pink-haired girl. So, she's there, she's ready to shoot Shinji, but she doesn't get to because Toji's little sister has also got some beef and is also going to fucking shoot Shinji. For what reason? Your guess is as good as mine. But shots are fired at the ground, and Misato takes one to the side to protect Shinji, and then Shinji just goes anyways to confront Gendo. And, by the way, Misato's got a kid, so sometime up to the near third impact to stop it, Carlcon's spear did not stop the near third impact. What needed to happen was Kaji needed to sacrifice himself to stop it. Okay, but somehow before that, in 2.0, he bangs Misato and gets her pregnant. I don't know if you all watched the same 2.0 as I did, but Misato was living with Shinji and Asuka and absolutely despised Kaji then. But I guess she does drink a lot, or maybe she hated him because he got her pregnant. But that's a lot of maybes, man. Also, Mari was one of the researchers under Futsugi. Somehow that doesn't really matter though. So Shinji becomes Unit 1 and fights Gendo in Unit 13, and it's actually kind of an interesting fight. They teleported to a bunch of different places, like Misato's house and the classroom, and seeing Ava's fight small size in these settings was quite amusing. Although the whole projection of all of it as a set was immersion breaking on purpose, because Ano hates Ava. The fighting ends because Shinji knows he can't win, so he goes to talk no jutsu instead, and it's... I really wanted to say fine here, but in my notes I crossed that out 2 times. It's not fine. It's horrible. The talk, we just get immediate reconciliation for the 20 plus years of neglect by flashbacking. And that pretty much just brings us to the end, because all of the other characters have these small dream-like flashes, one re-showing Rei in her spirit form, but with a stuffed baby making us think that maybe this is a mix of 2.0 and 3.0 Rey. There's some Carlton stuff, which is pretty good. Then there's some Asuka stuff re-showing that, duh, she was always a clone, don't be a fucking idiot. And then we see like a life-size version of her little Asuka puppet, which she had in this movie, which is fine. It didn't really do much. But then the life-size dream Asuka doll takes off its head and it's Kensuke. And it's like, well, that's fucking weird. Why the fuck is Kensuke here? But then that brings us to the last fucking scene. It's like real life, Shinji's at this train station, and across the way, you can see Rei with Carl Kun and Asuka with Kensuke. And it's like at this time, it's like these madmen. They really wouldn't. But then you see on the same side as Shinji, it's Mari. It's Mari. They take off each other's glasses and lean in, and that is what brings us to the final thesis.
The entirety of 4.0 and 3.0 are a personal, dedicated middle finger directly from Hideaki Anno to any fans of the original series. The original series, or perhaps even 1.0 and 2.0. You like Rei? No, fuck you. You like Asuka? Definitely fuck you. You don't like Mari? Well, this is the biggest fuck you we can give you. Everything you like about the original? No, it's bad. Evangelion is a fucking joke now, and Hideaki Anno is the ringleader. Like, we all knew 4.0 was going to be a garbage movie, but just the fact that we waited for 10 years for this absolute atrocity of a production is just, it's just sad. It shits over all of the themes of the original. It's just, what an absolute train wreck of a movie. So as Hideaki Anno gave to us with 4.0, I would like to reciprocate to Hideaki Anno himself a sincere fuck you from a fan of Evangelion.